What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 83. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and today we're running solo, but we're talking that Wandavision, we're talking some Mortal Kombat, we're talking some Apex. It's going to be a good podcast. Remember, guys, if you want to catch the podcast live, you can go over to twitch.tv/Enigma911 every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join in the chat, join on the conversation if you're a subscriber, and join in and have some fun talking some weird theories about WandaVision with us. But if you can't sub, that's a-okay. You can still join in the chat or join in on the broadcast. But if you can't catch it live, that's okay. You can go over to YouTube and SoundCloud the following Friday, where it's posted topic by topic and also put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement. Last but not least, hashtag ad merch store. You get all of your swag over there: t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. It would be greatly appreciated. So, another podcast, another week, another 2-episode stint of WandaVision, and holy shit, did a lot happen in these 2 episodes. So this is your only warning. If you didn't do your homework yet, go watch WandaVision episode 7 and 8, and then come on back. Okay, we're going full spoiler modes. We're talking. So as usual, I'm going to talk about all these crazy notes I wrote down while I was watching the episode, and we'll get into those crazy theories of what we think, what the fuck is going on in this show. I did want to talk kind of like a postscript from last week's episode. Last episode, excuse me. So episode 6, we saw an advertisement, the commercial, as they've been doing in these episodes, of the shark and the little kid on the sandbar. And the kid couldn't eat the yogurt or Jello or whatever it was. Jeff, Reg, and I, post podcast recording, talked a little bit extra theories of like what we thought was going on. And we talked about how Wanda was supposed to be the kid, potentially. And the shark is like a false hope. And she can't eat the food because obviously it's just luring her like along. So I thought that was interesting, that talk there. And we had theories that maybe the shark was Quicksilver and then obviously Wanda's the kid. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting and fun talk. I thought I would bring that up. And it actually kind of was right, because this episode of 7, we get some things rocking and rolling. So we got that Modern Family take of production. We're talking directly to the camera, the fourth wall. Seems like the Hex powers are freaking out. Wanda's kind of losing a little control, it seems. I don't know if it's just with the elements of Vision questioning things and Monica's stuff and whatnot, but it seems like she's losing control. So we had some fun little reverting items with the consoles, the Nintendo Wii to the GameCube, stuff like that. I thought it was funny she was still in her Halloween costume, so this was more of a direct immediate sequel episodes. I feel like the other ones had at least a little bit separation with it seemed, but I thought that was funny. The whole new intro, it was a lot of Wanda's name and no Vision's name until the very end where they snuck it in there. I thought it was very funny. The military's backup came very quick. There's dead air, no TV signal, so no new episodes are being broadcasted out. So it's just kind of Wanda in her bubble now, not projecting it out, it seems. Let's see. Darcy was an escape artist in the circus. Didn't take her too long. Well, Vision, remembers that, has that memory, and woke her up pretty fast. So she was down to help. Okay, so, Wanda fully recognizes or fully acknowledges to the kids in her, like, mental breakdown that she was having. In this episode, she kind of just tells the kids flat out that that wasn't their uncle, and it was a fake Quicksilver. Just dropping that on them, just whoop, okay. I thought that was odd, especially after like how strong she was kind of playing into it in the previous episodes. So odd there. Let's see. Seemed like she was kind of hinting at, I wrote a note of saying knowing it was Agnes. That was weird. I don't know. I did write a random note when she took the kids about like the mole on Agnes's back, if that had any importance or not. I was just like, why is this a thing? Obviously, it was just a little bit of a back and forth with the kids to kind of have fun, I guess. Let's see. Oh, we ran into the Contact in this episode. Unfortunately, it wasn't that big of a reveal as we thought of Mr. Fantastic or someone else. It was literally just, I assume, sword backup from the other director in chief. So that was odd, and all it was a car. It was just a car, so that was a little lackluster. Let's see. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. So Vision looked very different. His eyes don't seem the same. I'm not sure if I was just kind of seeing stuff or didn't really notice before. And he also had very faded metal. It was gray, not the golden green that we're kind of used to. Those more prominent colors. So I was like, interesting. Back to the things freaking out, the hex powers. We saw the stork again. I know Papa Griff was asking about that in episode 3. Yeah. So I thought that was odd. Just that showing up again. I don't know if it's just the instability of the powers that's causing the show up and obviously freak out. We did have a director with Wanda breaking the fourth wall, finally talking, and that seemed to take Wanda by surprise. I thought there was some accent to the voice, so I was thinking maybe it was Strucker, Baron von Strucker we saw in Age of Ultron for like a hot minute, but we'll learn that was not the case. Let's see. Got some other notes in here that I'm not strongly recognizing. Let's see. The car thing went disastrous. I thought it was odd. So the car can't get through, but then she, like, obviously Monica's just powering through, like, pushing her way through. And I just made a note of, like, really, bro? How are you getting through? But that didn't work. Obviously, it needed to happen. So now it seems that Monica's got her powers and she is fully photon. What those powers are, I don't fully know, but there was that. So earlier we talked about Wanda's kind of going crazy. And it seems like she was keeping Vision away in this episode because she didn't want to deal with the backlash of like what's going on. So at this moment, it seemed like she was keeping Vision away with the road work and the kids crossing, which were the only kids I think we saw in this episode besides theirs. The red lights, Darcy made the joke of that they're hitting all of them. I was curious as to why she's trying to stop Vision from coming home, but like I said, I think it might have just been to avoid conflict. There's another theory coming up later in episode 8 that might be something. Made a little joke about they saying the show name. Alright, so then we start getting here, or some more interesting stuff. I mentioned Agnes might be pulling the strings. Made a sidebar that there's no faux Quicksilver around at all. Let's see. Who's a bit about? At one point, your dad doesn't want to be here, something like that. I think I figured it was typical couple. Well, what you want, fine type. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of avoiding whatever confrontation like they had in episode 5 or something before Quicksilver showed up. Excuse me. The interview process, Vision kind of caught on. He's like, "Why am I just here?" And he flew away. I thought that was kind of funny. I was also curious if like those interviews are taking place in his mental capacity, because obviously they're stuck in the car, but then he's being interviewed at the circus. Just presentation, I guess. Boys were in trouble. I was wondering if Agnes was going to get rid of the kids. Like Mephisto does in the comics. I think we talked about it in the last episode or maybe before that. We still have yet to see that. Episode 8 kind of hints against that. Not hints, but kind of shows against that. Spooky basement. We got a bloody tarp. There's a lot of vines. I was questioning the sorcery. There's a lot of notes quick here. We had a cursed book we seemed to focus on, or something. And then, we got the big reveal that Agatha has been behind this all along. Agatha Harkness. So I guess some people's theories early on of the Doctor Strange connection character is confirmed. We had a little hair change for her and how she looked. Then reverting back to, Scarlet's keeping her away, or keeping Vision away. I was kind of maybe thinking Agatha's keeping Vision away. Maybe. Just a thought there. So I thought maybe that was like, because Vision could obviously help. Maybe keeping that divide there. So hopefully he does not swoop in. I did appreciate them showing the ploys along the way through episodes. I totally forgot she gave the rabbit to them in episode 2. With them showing these seeds, essentially, I am interested to rewatch the episodes and see if like it was there all along. Like it was these tiny itty bitty things like happening that like if you were paying attention or you knew about, like you could pick up on, or if it was like obviously some of the footage they showed in the reveal was obviously extra footage, but like if it's something you could kind of pinpoint, follow along as those episodes go. And maybe it is because I mean some people were theorizing her being bad or something going along with her character along the way, but I'd be interested to go back and see those if they stand out this time on second viewing. I mentioned we picked up on the podcast picked up on some stuff, but not the specifics of things like the neighbor talk, being almost out of town and wondering like why she was out there. I already mentioned the rabbit, the recast of the Quicksilver. It must have just been a fun joke to do. But as we'll learn in episode 8, there's a reason for that. I was curious why they wouldn't bring back Aaron Taylor-Johnson to maybe cause more distress with Wanda. Obviously, she knew the other one was fake. Once again, episode 8, we'll learn the reasoning for that. And then we get into the post-scene stuff. So if you guys didn't watch after those initial credits, there was post-scene stuff. Monica obviously had that little altercation with Wanda earlier, but didn't leave fully, so she's still investigating, and she runs into the faux Quicksilver still around, so it's going to be interesting, that clash, how they're going to deal with that. Like, is Quicksilver, did Quicksilver have the powers? Yeah, he did, right? So there will be superpower versus superpower battle between them. And then I just had some random thoughts of post-episode, just things I wanted to jot down. I made the joke, or as always, there's more questions than answers when we get like one. Like they give us one tiny step or tiptoe into the answer territory, and then all these other ones come up. As Jeff mentioned in chat, yes, the theme was a banger. I wrote a note asking if the kids are dead. And then once again, if Agnes was keeping Vision away, not Wanda. So that was episode 7. So yeah, good, solid strike at the end of like, oh shit, we're going here. And obviously the big reveal. Let's see back to the things. He's doing some Broadway stuff this year. Okay, wanted him, couldn't get him. That's a shame. But I mean, good for him. He's doing stuff. All right, episode 8. So I literally watched this only a few hours ago. So, fresh on the brain. How come Darcy realizes she got sucked into the hex, meaning the other circus people don't know they used to be sword? Vision did the little, like, unlock brain thing. Similar to how he's done with his coworker with the email. And Agatha technically, when she was out in her car, so he just kind of touches her head and then unlocked the control, which might tie into what we learn later in episode 8, how he has this ability, because I don't remember that being an ability that he has normally. That's how he woke up Darcy. Before we move on to the next episode, did the book show up in 8? No. They zoomed in and like enhanced and made sure the focal point was on the book in 7. But no, I did not see the book at all in 8. Or it being mentioned. thought she knew before. No, she was playing the escape artist role where she was kind of creeped out because she thought Vision was like asking her out on a date or something. And then the strong man was like, oh, she'll show you the ropes or whatever to get ready for the show. But yeah, because there's a couple books it could be, but I didn't think they brought it up again. No, they haven't yet. Marvel has a couple famous magical tomes. I'm sure they do. But no, I just wanted to point out, like, they focused on it, so it has to be important for a reason. Maybe it's like going to break the runes that we learn about in 8 and go from there. Interesting. All right, so episode 8, a lot of things happened. Missed the book. It was like right as soon as she got down into the basement and they revealed that like circular room. They had a specific camera shot cut away to a like slight zoom. It seemed on the book. It had like yellow aura around it. All right, so episode 8, we get a little backstory on Miss Agatha with the Salem witch trials. And witches are real and they're using the magic for good, but apparently Agatha's learning the dark magic and doing it for bad things, so it was almost like a trial. Didn't go super well for the good witches, unfortunately. As they were doing this little scene, it kind of made me think about Doctor Strange in that movie. In that movie, when he's learning, like, he's only supposed to have specific books, but then he uses what he learns from those books to to borrow other books to like learn more and more advanced magic because he's kind of impatient and a dick in the beginning of that movie. So I just thought it was kind of funny, the like parallels to them learning. They mention in this witch trial, or I think Agatha does, something about she can't control it. So is there a part of this magic that she's learned that's either possessing her, or is it just like, it's too powerful, I can't do anything about it? I don't know if that was just her trying to get out of it. Whatever. We see the scene unfold. Obviously, all the good witches get their life force sucked out of them or something. And then Agatha takes the brooch that we've seen on her, or I assume it's a brooch. Maybe that's not the right word. I'm curious as to what the importance of this brooch is. Yeah, obviously it's got the little symbol of the like three ladies or coven or whatever it is. Why did she take it? What's the importance there? Unless it was just like, this is my mom. I don't know. So there was that. Let's see. She wanted to get some power knowledge, gotten overhead. We're going to punish her, ask for help. She killed him. Didn't seem like she was trying to. Yeah, I did see the energy crown, which I think is going to, is going to lead up to a scene we see later. I thought it was odd, but yeah, we did see that astral crown, or magic crown or whatever, once she kind of goes more Super Saiyan mode, or uses her power more. So yeah, we had that, excuse me, a little backstory there. So that was cool. That was nice. So yes, we got back into the basement. For some reason, Agnes. Wait. Agatha. Is it both the same? That was a dumb moment. She's talking to the rabbit. Why is she talking to the rabbit? Is the rabbit a sentient being, or are we just like, oh, this is my pet? Talk to it that way. I just thought that was odd. A lot of different things that were going on from there. I was wondering if she's trying to recruit Wanda. But as we learn on later, it seems like she's trying to learn from her, why she has this power, how she's able to control it. So, because obviously she wants to do more with hers, or is trying to be a more powerful witch overall. We confirmed fake Pietro, fake Quicksilver being under her control. And then I had a aha moment when she said we couldn't resurrect your brother like you because the body was in another country and it had bullet holes. So that is why we needed to use the fake and the different X-Men casting Quicksilver. So glad we brought that up. Then we had the whole bug transforming into a bird, transformed back into a bug, being thrown in the rabbit's mouth, and then the rabbit's eating it. Why is the rabbit eating bugs? So weird. So we got that. Then I was starting to question if Wanda did anything at all in the first place. Like, obviously we saw this footage of her going to steal Vision's body in previous episodes, so I was curious if maybe Agatha had done this instead, or Agnes. Turns out that's not the case, but just a thought that I had there. And then obviously now we are going to learn more about why Wanda is feeling this way through Agatha's eyes, of like this discovery through memories. So we're going through there. As we're doing that, we hear the kids crying out of nowhere. I thought this was an illusion, so we'll see later that maybe it's not, but I was like, that's odd that they just start crying on cue, you know, kind of thing, asking for help. Odd. So I thought maybe she is in control of the kids, or is a projection of the kids, similar to Pietro being fake, you know, kind of thing. So we got to the TV shows. I think it was last episode, or maybe previous episodes. We definitely have talked about it numerous times. Papa Griff's brought it up of like, why is the formatting this way? Why are we doing the 60s show, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s? Like, why are we doing these different decades shows? And I mentioned maybe it's how she sees like life should be, like with Vision having this full life. And it's kind of that way we learn with how it being as kids. They watched these shows. They watched the Dick Van Dyke Show. They watched, was Malcolm in the Middle in that briefcase? I don't think it was, but there were other like recognizable shows. I Love Lucy was in there, that we saw in the briefcase with her parents. So we kind of get that connection of like, oh, she really likes these shows. This is maybe her safe place with obviously all the shit that's going on outside her home. This is the place where she can escape to. So they're happy. They're all watching the show. And then we get the jump scare. That was terrible of the attack. So yeah, we got that. Yeah, the suitcase. Oh, sorry. Well, her dad gave her a bunch of DVDs, old sitcoms. Dick Van Dyke was the one on the screen. Yeah, in the suitcase there was all the ones he brought from home. Yeah, that had all the different shows. I think I Love Lucy was in there along with some others. So yeah, that jump scare happened. That was sucky. I made a note here joking around that are we going to see more Baron Strucker than we saw in the Age of Ultron movie? Didn't even happen, but so the bomb comes in and wipes out the apartment and house, but the TV's still on. Yeah, that was odd. That was odd. Yeah, I believe he's still alive. Yep. He's up there. Let's see. So once again, Agnes is trying to learn from Wanda why she's so powerful. So yeah, we got to the testing, the Infinity Stone. We got to that. So we got to that scene, and she sees the Reality Stone, right? Sees the Reality Stone. She sees it come out of the scepter, recognizes that, and then sees the shadowy figure of what we see as the Scarlet Witch of this outfit. I was like, oh, it's the outfit. It's the costume. It's not just the Halloween costume. So I thought that was cool. The real, yes. So yeah, we did have that reveal too. Thank you, Jeff, for reminding me there. Like, that was a question I was having. It was like, okay, so and I bring it up later in my notes. Are we retconning everything here of how she gets powers? And she's a mutant, obviously, in the comics. And then in this story, we thought it was the gem that gave her the powers. Like, are her and Quicksilver dormantly have this ability? Now, Quicksilver is a whole nother mystery and, like, question mark. Like, how are you going to explain that power? Like, I get the witch thing if we're going with the Salem witch trials being real. Like, that can work. So yeah, apparently she's a magic wielder, quote unquote, for the audio listeners. Dormant, potentially prevented the missile from going off, and now the stone, the Infinity Stone, has like amplified her powers to make her now use these abilities more freely and knowing what she's doing. Originally in Age of Ultron, they were referred to as enhanced and not mutant because they couldn't use that. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. So, big question mark on the the origin of powers here and what we're going with and the retcon and the rework, all that. So, anyways, we see the outfit, seeing herself. Then randomly, like, we see the the Hydra guys checking the footage again before she turns off the TV, and the footage is cut. Like, you see her in the room, and then you see her on the ground, and there's like no in between for whatever goddamn reason. So there was that. Then I had some thoughts once again of the retconning or the changing of the stories here, or the powers. And then I was wondering if Agnes is maybe trying to get to Sword at all. Once again, we'll get a little bit more revealed later of what she's trying to do of her own powers, but that was just a note I made to myself. Then we get more present day of her seeing Vision's body. She's at the Sword headquarters. She goes in, busts the door down. No security cares. Love that. That was fun. We see Hayward again. She's talking to him. Very dumb question. This isn't the same guy that Monica went to the headquarters and talked to, right? That was like an ally of her and her mom. I'm like 99% sure it's a different guy, but I don't know why I had that thought. I was like, wait a minute. So, that was Hayward? So it's the same guy. If so, what the fuck happened? Okay, so it's the same jabroni. All right, well, that's shitty. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was some different guy. That was cool. So yeah, we get that. I wasn't sure he took over. Yeah, I thought somebody else took over. My bad. So anyways, yeah, we get him again. Vision dismantled all to hell. So he's keeping her away from Vision. Lets her say goodbye. Very emotional goodbye. Not a great goodbye. But then he brings up resurrecting Vision. Why would he know that she has the potential capability of doing that? She's never demonstrated this before. Thought that was odd. Very odd note. And then we get the reveal that they bought a house. They bought property to grow old in together. And then I thought Westview was a fake town. Apparently it's a real town. Or is it Eastview that's the fake town? I don't know. But went to the house, got real emotional, built the house. Boom, there's the big event. And we realize and learn that she did not actually steal the body. Vision's body is still at Sword. She astral projected, created this faux Vision. And that's how we start the show. Okay. So there's that. So, figure out how the show started. Bum, bum, bum. I made a lot of exclamation points about Vision being formed, not from the corpse. So this kind of reverts back to Vision leaving in last episode, episode 6 rather. How he's deteriorating. We thought it was because the body had to be held together by the magic. We were kind of on the right track, but it's because he can't exist outside the bubble because he is her magic, which is contained in the bubble. So that explains the deteriorating there and how he's getting destroyed. So once again, I made the note of... Oh, no, that's later. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. So deteriorating. So Agatha brings up the legend of the Scarlet Witch. And I said, oh, shit, they said it. So they said the name. They've confirmed it. She's the Scarlet Witch, which is now this legendary, powerful witch thing. So they're trying to weave this web of how do we get mutants involved and not have them be mutants. Which is fine. I'm fine with them changing it. It was just like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. We gotta mold this back together, I guess. I don't know. So there's that. So there was that. Said the name. Once again, I mentioned them retconning and changing the origin, which is fine. Born with Abilities Stone amplified it. And then we get the post-credits for this episode, which is a big fucking oh fuck moment. So Hayward's moving in. He's got his backup. I literally wrote down, oh fuck me. They're sending the real Vision in. And then we get the reveal that it's a bitch-ass Vision who's fucking a weapon. I don't know what white Vision means, but I saw a lot of people freaking out about it. Shit's about to go down. This is not gonna go well. So, we got this evil version of Vision, all amplified and government stuff. So, not good. Sword being way more of a butthole than Shield. I kind of gotten that in animated shows that they haven't been super cool, but it sucks that it's happening here. So yeah, a lot of shit happened in these 2 episodes. It's fucking, we're super downhill for episode 9 and 10. I think there's 10. What's happening? What's going on? How is this gonna turn about? Is this like a 3-way battle here? Agatha and Wanda and the military, it seems, or Sword rather. Seems it's that way. And it's just going to be pure chaos, and I don't see how we're coming out of this on a good thing. So, you know. Yeah. Let's see. So is Scarlet Witch comic book? Yeah, in the comics she is referred to as Scarlet Witch. That's like her X-Men name, hero name. Yeah. Good, Jeff. I'm looking forward to those theories about White Vision or info on it. Okay, let's see. Popgraph. Really? Oh, yeah. Now's the time, guys, that we can start theorizing together. So let me hear what you got. What's your thoughts? Really going to get that in one last episode. I think there's 2 more. I think there's episode 9. I think there's episode 10. Pretty sure. I could be wrong about that. Somebody can fact check me on that. I'm pretty sure there's 2. It's only 1? Oh, God. This better be like an hour and a half. Fuck. Okay. So we got a lot to do next week. Shit. Okay. I mean, there's so much shit to fucking to talk about and figure out. Like, are the kids fake? Are the kids not fake? What's happening with Monica? What's happening with White Vision? What's happening with Faux Quicksilver? Like, there's so many things in this show that don't have answers that we need a feature-like film essentially to describe this. It seems like a lot to throw at the wall at once, and I just hope it makes sense. Oy. Okay. White Vision. Jeff says in the comics, Vision is an android designed on the brain patterns of Wanda's former lover, Wonder Man. Yep, I do know that. For a while, he lost all of his emotions, and during that time, he was all white. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. It's like they gave some answers and then made so many more. Yeah, more questions. Yeah, I had that note of that earlier. Like, you get the little teeny bit of the crumb, and then the whole world just apparently opens up. Project Cataract, the eye. That was for Vision. Tracking thing on him. I might be forgetting notes that we talked about. Sorry. Oh, milk white. Yeah, your eyes are milk white. Good point. Yeah, we thought that it was tracking him in the bubble, which it might not be. It might be tracking this bad boy out here because the scientists and Wu realized, oh, they're tracking Vision. The vibranium signature. Right. We thought that was the body in the bubble when it turns out that it's fucking not. It's him doing that. So yeah. Did Wanda make vibranium? See, maybe they just read it wrong and it was actually tracking the second Vision, the White Vision, original Vision, whatever we want to call this one. I don't know. Because did they say it was in the bubble? I don't know. Because if she can make vibranium, maybe that can work its way into Black Panther 2, saying R.I.P., we no longer have Black Panther. So, like, and all the other vibranium was burned with the plants, right? So it's like, don't know. Also, when they had his corpse at Sword, how did they disassemble him? He's made of vibranium. That is a good point. Are his innards made of vibranium? I don't know. A lot of interesting questions here. With not knowing comic books, now it's getting hard to follow a little bit. I understand that. What part are you feeling it's all like, question mark here? They said they were tracking the atomic signature as vibranium. I don't know. No, vibranium wasn't burned with the plants. It's just a Black Panther flower. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. He was pretty much all vibranium. There's just 3 printed nerves and synapses tissue. I don't know then. I don't know. Maybe it's some alien technology. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're not really human. Maybe they're all Skrulls, and this is how they're getting that weapon. Did we talk about that last, the theories? I don't remember. So what's the overall purpose of having Agnes as a witch? So this show is going to tie into Doctor Strange. Scarlet Witch Wanda is confirmed to be in the Doctor Strange movie. So I believe in the comics, Agnes is a adversary, antagonist, villain to Doctor Strange. She doesn't look like this. She's like way older and whatever. She does tie into there. So I think it's just taking a villain from one Marvel hero and then, hey, this could work, and scooting it over to there. It's interesting that it's an actual witch and not like a Doctor Strange, that kind of magic. I don't know. Maybe she's not a villain in the comics, like Jeff's saying. She's more like there. She's been unkind to main characters. Okay, so she's kind of doing her own thing. Let's see. We watched Infinity War, and they're trying to sever all the synapses that connected directly to the Mind Stone. Right. But if this was Wanda's vision, how does she get in there like that? How does Agnes get in there? That's a good question. How does she fly under the radar? Yeah, there's a lot of interesting questions now with, like, how much does Wanda control? Like, I can understand the rune magic, right? Okay. Like, the magic doesn't work there. It's just interesting. Yeah, how did she protect herself from the blast? Maybe she saw the blast or heard about the blast or whatever, just sensed it, and then kind of like skirted in there. I don't know. It's an interesting question for sure. Go back to episode 4. She's one of the people we didn't ID. Yeah, I think we might have made a note of that too, that she wasn't on that board. So yeah, maybe she did skirt in after because she wasn't part of the town originally. Her and Dottie. I don't remember Dottie. Was Dottie the blonde woman? I don't know. Just all the extra characters from other places. Marvel is going to have Easter eggs and references all left, right, and center. I mean, Scarlet, as far as I know, like, they can't use, well, they can now, X-Men characters. And, like, they didn't want to go with that, I guess, right now. So, yeah, with it tying with Doctor Strange, it makes sense why they would use this character. I don't know much about her history in the comics, but that was always the reference brought up that, like, this character is tied to Doctor Strange. So, excuse me. It's just something that they could do with the storytelling. Like, obviously, it's a little different from the comics and stuff, which I think is fine. I think that makes it more interesting, at least to watch, because then you don't know everything 100%. But, yeah, I can definitely see from a non-comic book fan how it's a lot of information. I think I talked about that with episode 1 and 2 before everything kind of started rolling. Like, this is a very niche show. I'm not sure if I enjoy it. It's very weird how they're presenting it. Like, we're starting to get into that territory with Marvel where, I mean, hell, they've even done it before too with even the movies, but, like, we're getting very nitty gritty or, like, specific stories with people, and, like, the web is already branched so much. Like, think about when Marvel first started. Let's just go even just phase 1. You got Iron Man, you got Cap, you got Thor, you got Hulk, you got Black Widow, and you got Hawkeye, right? You take that 6 or whatever characters. From there, each of their own individual movies introduce new characters. We get Winter Soldier, we get Falcon, we get War Machine, we get oh boy, who else is in the other movies? We get these other heroes, right? And Scarlet Witch, fucking Quicksilver, etc. We go from there. Then we get like more branches, right? We get Black Panther, we get Spider-Man, we get Ant-Man, we get Captain Marvel eventually. Yeah, we get the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, we get Agent Carter, we get Coulson, we got Fury, we get Maria Hill. Like, just it's all stacking on top of each other like a twisted cake that just for some reason is top heavy and is eventually going to tip over, Like, I can definitely see how it's getting confusing. And now with it getting even more nitty gritty with specific characters, like, this universe is expanding fast. Like, there's going to be characters in this one that, like, I don't know, X, Y, and Z. There's going to be characters probably in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, we got Zemo returning as a big villain. Do you remember him from Civil War? You might, but you don't remember him with the mask. You're going to have these characters in Loki. Do they even matter, really? It's a separate multiverse dimension timeline. Who really, like, does it link even back into what's going on here? Like, it's essentially the same thing with the comics too. Like, there's so many fucking characters, whether it's Marvel, DC, etc. There's a lot of people to keep track of, and I don't blame anybody who's like, wait, this person's that person connected to this person's brother who does this thing. Totally don't blame you at all. And unfortunately, it's only going to keep continuing that way. And all I can do is try my best to keep it together and linked and making sense. Maybe that's why we got to kill off characters after one movie, because if we just keep adding and adding and adding, it's just going to be like, So I don't know. I'm sorry about the confusion, but that's what we're here for. That's what the conversation is for, is to hopefully make sense of it all and keep people intrigued and interested, because, that's how you enjoy things. But if everything's just confusing as hell, yeah, you can't enjoy it. Oh, all right. Let's see. Let's see. Jeff says he doesn't know if she was already in Westview or got drawn to it, but she wants to know how Wanda's doing all this stuff that she shouldn't be able to, which again speaks towards her ambition. Yeah, she talked about how, like, there's separate separate storylines and everything's going on in this bubble that's like miles away. How are you controlling that? So she's trying to get more powerful herself by studying. We talked about the commercials at length. I predicted the next one would be the future. The commercial, again, episode 7, was about a nexus, which is an interdimensional gateway of all realities in the comics. Interesting. I remembered the name Nexus, but not from wrestling. But I was wondering what connection it did have to this. For some reason, I was thinking in video games. I think they've done a couple Marvel games where it's like those ISO shards and stuff like that. Don't know why I was thinking it was that, or that was the first thought that came to my mind, but it's not that. So yeah, that was odd. Episode 8 didn't get a commercial, so it's nice to, it's not obviously the TV show now, so there's that. It is the car too. Yes, there is a Nexus car. So yeah, no more commercials, it seems. Also, the magic. All the magic we've seen so far has been yellow, geometric in nature. The Covenant of blue fire-looking magic. Agatha's purple. Yeah, well, it could be a little storytelling there. We had Doctor Strange using orange, yellow magic that Jeff was referring to. We have seen green with a time stone, technically 2. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if they'll explain it. Maybe they won't. Maybe it's just a different way to present it. Obviously, Scarlet Witch with the red, the hex magic, or the chaos magic, as they're calling it. So, yeah. Dumb question. No dumb questions. I'm sure. So, Wanda had the test of the blue stone from the scepter. Wasn't that Loki's, or did he steal it from S.H.I.E.L.D.? You were 100% correct. It was Loki's. So, at the end of Avengers 1, he brings the scepter in, and he's doing the whole, like, touches their heart and mind control thing. At the end of Avengers 1, they take the scepter and they bring it to S.H.I.E.L.D. From there, somehow, I don't know if they explained it fully, but somehow it gets into Hydra's hands. And from there, Hydra takes it and uses it to experiment on Wanda and Pietro, like we see in Age of Ultron and like we saw here, to amplify these powers, as we see. So no, not a dumb question. You're 100% correct on that. She specifically says that all of what Wanda is doing is chaos magic. Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's like renaming the hex magic. Like maybe the Easter egg or a little like, ha ha ha, was the dome being hexes, and maybe renaming it chaos because it's chaotic and uncontrollable or whatever it is. So there's that. True, but that was only with the stone. That was green stone, so true. When the Avengers win in the first movie, yeah. Thor takes custody of the Loki, but S.H.I.E.L.D. gets the scepter. Correct, yeah. And he also takes the space stone, the Tesseract. That's how they transport back, because the Rainbow Bridge is destroyed at that point. S.H.I.E.L.D. having it, meaning Hydra has it. Yeah, because there's still elements of Hydra left, because we hadn't gotten to Winter Soldier yet, where we learn that they have interwoven themselves into S.H.I.E.L.D., causing all this chaos. So they get it by being S.H.I.E.L.D. incognito. How it gets over to foreign country, good question. Didn't they steal the scepter back? They stole the scepter back in Avengers 2 after they go to Sokovia. That's how we pick up on the movie. You take the scepter back, and oh boy, I'm trying to remember here. It's been a little while since Age of Ultron. So yes, they do take the scepter back in Avengers 2. That's why they attacked the Sokovian structure castle thing. And that's how Ultron recruits Wanda and Quicksilver eventually in that. They use the program and the gem to make Ultron, and then eventually put the stone from the scepter in Vision's head, making him. Yes. A Mind Stone. Correct. New timeline created, endgame, younger Loki bamps out with Space Stone. Correct. Which is that different timeline, which we're dealing with Loki in June or whenever that show starts. Means there's a Infinity Stone out there somewhere. Correct. Yes. Yeah, one is unaccounted for. Well, hold on a second. Yes. There's like an extra Space Stone or whatever. Because Cap technically returns them all also. But yes. Wait a minute. How did... Hold on a second. Because, yeah, I know that. Then how did they snap themselves? Because they needed the stone. Oh, I got it. No, I got it. They went further back because they lost that one. That's when they went to fucking Tony talked to his dad. Okay. Whew. Okay. All right. Yeah. So later on. Yeah. Okay. Oh God. Thought they're all destroyed. Yes, and they are, but now. Oh boy. Okay. So like Jeff said, now we're getting a little confused. So, Endgame. They go to all their missions, right? They get the Tesseract from way, way back with Tony's dad. Bam. Okay. They go here. Thanos had destroyed it with his second one, right? His second snap, he destroyed it. That's when we killed Thanos the first time. Then we do the whole mission. We're going to bring everybody back. We'll get the stones. So once again, sorry. Now stones in good guys' hands. Hulk does the snap, right? Bah, boom. Okay. We go through that whole big battle. Blah, 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 blah. Cap's got them all. Cap goes and brings them back. He brings back the Space Stone to where he got it with Howard Stark, Tony's dad. However, what happened in the first attempt to get the stone, like Jeff mentioned, Loki whoosh, goes out, fades to darkness. So, if you think about it, here's Endgame, right? Here's Loki. Here's the original capturing of the stone. So Cap has to go back to when Howard talks, right? Puts the stone there. They lost it at this point in the middle. How time's going to work, because this is back here, boop, 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 because their first attempt, Loki will be able to have the space stone and zooms off. That's how we're getting the Loki show. I hope that made sense. I hope. Let me know. Papa Griff says, so timeline something for me. The bomb that smashes the apartment house is a Stark Industry bomb. Yes. Young Wanda. So she chills out with Hydra for years until they get the scepter. I don't think she goes with Hydra right away. I think they said it in Ultron. Her and Pietro, like, they're angry at the war and they're angry at Stark and all that stuff. So they're kind of like rebel protesting group as they grow up. And I think at some point, Hydra's like, not recruiting, but somehow like gets them involved. I don't think it's like, hey, we're 10. Let's go with Hydra. So, yeah. Let's see. As soon as they travel the past or future, it stops being fast. Yeah. So everything's just making different things. Angry college kid, I want to make a change. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, a lot happening in these episodes. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting now knowing that it's a finale next week. I don't know if I want to wait a whole extra week to do the next episode of the podcast for the finale, but maybe I will. Maybe just to keep on track with everything. But it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, what happens with Agatha. What happens with Wanda? What happens with Faux Vision? What happens with White Vision? What happens with Hayward? What happens with Monica? We got a lot of key players and a lot of questions that we don't have specific answers to. My thoughts and predictions for how this show is going to end. Sadly, I don't think Vision's making it out of this. I don't think the Vision we know is going to come back and make everything right, like Papa Griff said at the end, like, oh, happy ending. You know, I sadly don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if there's a way where Wanda's going to be able to merge White Vision's body with Astral Projection's, fucking thing. Merge them together to make a Vision. Maybe that's how they do it. I don't know if that's... I don't have a lot of faith in it. Now, we talked about in previous podcasts, is Wanda actually the villain? If they can't bring Vision back, maybe she is the villain in Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. Maybe this is how they're explaining it. Now, this obviously doesn't leave the show in a very good ending, but it can set up that movie. I don't know if they want to go that route, but I just can't see how this show has shown her dealing with negativity. I can't... Unless she has a really growing moment where she's like, I can finally say goodbye. Maybe. Excuse me. It's up in the air. Right now I'm leaning towards no Vision. How she takes it, I don't know. The kids could be the tipping point again if the kids are fake. I don't know. That could be bad. Monica, I don't know what to think about, to be honest. Like, we got the powers and like she kind of seems like, oh, just totally, this is normal. Like, she didn't really react all too much to the powers. Obviously, her and Quicksilver are going to have some fight, and she's going to get more powerful, or at least learn what she's doing. So, I don't know. I don't know much about Photon, so I don't feel super invested in the character of the superhero. But it is what it is. The Agatha stuff, I assume, is just going to be like, we're going to take her out, and then like other villains, it's going to be like, never see you again kind of thing. I don't know. It doesn't, that wasn't the best prediction, but right now, my thought is it's not going to go well. Let's see. So yes, the M ruin, double M headdress thing. Right. Kind of like the House of M logo. That could have been just like a little Easter egg too. Yes. So let's see. Jeff says, so the way I see it, Wanda created Vision from her memories. His mind is incomplete, which is clearly his personality to that point where he disagrees with her actions. White Vision is a reactivated robot with no mind of his own. She's going to combine them, right? That is definitely potential. Like I said in my little theory, the only way I can see Vision coming back is if, yes, you take the mental aspect she's created and the physical that the sword has resurrected and go, bah! Could do that. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. I have a feeling that this is going to go bad. I feel it has to have this no Vision coming back thing, which sucks because I like Paul Bettany. He's great. But right now, in my brain of brains, this is the end for him. And like I said, whether it takes the route of I'm better, I've learned that you need to let things go and grow from it, experience with Wanda, or like the show has shown, shit's gonna hit the fan again, and it's just gonna get worse, and then Doctor Strange stuff happens. It's really up in the air, because it could go either way. Like I said, we know she's in Doctor Strange's movie. We don't know her role yet. Is this her role? Is she the villain? Does she turn into that? Or does she grow? Because, once again, the show keeps showing this progression of, shitty situation, how she's reacting to it. Does she have this moment of growth and can release and realize this isn't right? I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing next week's episode with it being the finale and how they figure all this. Also, Vision is the one who bought the plot in Westview. How did that paperwork end up in a car? I assume he bought it because they had the conversation in Infinity War about both them saying screw it and going off on their own. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he had it as a surprise. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Because at what point would they have done that? Bought property together. How would she have known? It seemed like it was a sealed envelope. So maybe, it was something that he was trying to surprise her with. On that car. Or in the envelope that was in the car seemed very official. Secretive almost. But yeah, there's no time during Infinity War and Endgame that could have happened. That they could have done that together. Answer this. Is there a second season of WandaVision? As far as I know, I don't think so. I think all these shows are one season. One and dones. But I could be wrong. Then she finds the plot, makes the home, the hex bursts from her. From there, she seems to make the house intentionally, and the hex and Vision didn't seem intentional. Correct. Yeah, I figured she was just going to sit down, retire. Try and live her life as best she could. It was a surprise for her, for sure. Yeah. So she's got the right idea. He could have done it before Infinity War and been planning on springing on her and never had a chance. For sure. Yeah, that's what I think. Because there's no logical time frame they could have just done it. Because obviously they get attacked in Paris? ? When Cap shows up and Black Widow and Falcon. Did they just make a rendezvous from there in Wakanda? Hey, I got to go buy this property real quick. No, I don't think so. So, yes, I do agree that maybe after Civil War or something, he decided to do that for her. Yeah. Edinburgh, thank you. It was France, but still, wrong town. Wrong city. But yeah, that's WandaVision. Holy crap. It's been good. It's been a good show. Like I mentioned earlier, those first 2 episodes really didn't hook me, but now that since episode 3 and on, it's been going. It's been a lot of fun watching week to week and talking about it every other week with you guys, talking theories, talking about is it not in France? Oops. Talking about theories, talking about what's happening, question marks, things we might pick up on, whatever it is. It's been a fun ride, and it's going to be interesting to see how it ends and how it affects everything in the storyline from here. Whether it's that happily ever after or not, we don't know. It's not over till Nick Fury shows up. Well, I don't think they have plans for him. They do have a show planned for him and called Secret Invasion, where he's going to be showing up. But I don't know if he'll be popping in and be like, "Oi," you know. That'd be great if Nick Fury showed up. I don't know. I don't see it happening personally, but that's true. He's always got his hand somewhere in it, you know. Fury will show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Could. He could. Maybe. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the show and enjoying these conversations as well. Yeah, we'll just have to go to the finale and talk about it there. I will keep everyone posted on social medias if we are just talking about it immediately that weekend, or if we're going to do the usual wait and talk about it next podcast, because I think they're doing a behind-the-scenes show as well after the finale. So maybe we'll talk about the behind-the-scenes show as well as the finale and kind of talk about it from there and our thoughts. But I'll let you guys know. Maybe I won't have the patience to wait a week. And then, yes, also I'll announce here officially as well on the podcast. I've had a lot of fun talking about these shows with you guys. So I want to try and do a weekly Marvel show. Talking about episode to episode about the different series with you guys, talking our theories, talking about what we like about the show, what we don't like about the show. I will do a live recording similar to this on Sundays at some point. And we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there. So yeah, it'll be week to week, episode by episode, just right off the bat. So we'll start with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then I believe Loki's after that, and we'll keep going. If people enjoy it, we'll try our best to do it, and it should be some fun. So yeah, I'll announce that there. All right, moving on to topic 2. Topic 2 today is the Mortal Kombat trailer for the new movie coming out in 2021, aka this year, on HBO Max. I believe it comes out in April, so it's right around the corner. I'm not gonna lie, going into this movie when it was announced, I was very, not hesitant, but holding my excitement. So I was holding back my excitement for this movie just because video game movies hit or miss. I know the original Mortal Kombat movie, the first one, is good. Second one, not so much. And then from there, you've had some interesting takes on them. Doom was okay. I hear Tomb Raider's good. Sonic apparently is good. Then there's other ones that are just booty. So yeah, I was hesitant on it. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it, if they're going to go like super serious or if they're going to go hokey with it or whatever. And with the trailer dropping last Thursday, I was excited to watch the trailer to see how they were going to present it, but I was hesitant with how much I should really get invested in the presentation of it, I guess you could say, leading up to it. So watching the trailer, dropped Thursday last week as of recording. And holy crap, does this movie look good. And not just because of a video game movie or just because of Mortal Kombat. It looks interesting. The production value's up there. It seems like we're doing a serious story, which is all fine by me. We got a lot of characters in it. We got Sonya, we got Jax, we got Sub-Zero, we got Scorpion, we got Shang Tsung, we got Goro showing up in this trailer looking sweet, looking awesome, looking cool as hell. And with a little breakdown, shout out to Unruly on YouTube and Twitch. Breaking down the trailer, we can see even more characters in this and some thoughts. We have the Shao Kahn statue, obviously. There's some Cabal weapons, or maybe a fight scene with Cabal potentially being seen. We'd have Katana's fans chilling out. So it's going to be interesting to see how the story happens. They're already changing some of the lore with Jack specifically in that opening scene of Sub-Zero being the ones to remove his arms, forcing him to get the metal ones. In the games, I think they've had 2 different storylines. One, he just got them enhanced for the tournament, and then another one, Ermac ripped them off. So they're already changing that and making Sub-Zero the bad guy. Excuse me. If I recall, I think Sub-Zero was a good guy in the games. He might have been like his own, like a third party kind of deal, and then Scorpion was more the evil one. I could be wrong about that. I'm not the strongest in MK lore, but it seems like Sub-Zero is the big baddie, other than Shang Tsung with the tournament, obviously. But that seems to be the route we're going. I don't know who this Cole character is supposed to be. I assume it's supposed to be Johnny Cage. If so, that's fine. I think the birthmark is stupid of the dragon and the Mortal Kombat symbol. But other than that, if that's how they're going to go with the story, is like he's incognito movie role type deal. It just doesn't seem like it. The actor, at least what they've shown, really portrays a Johnny Cage in the games. Maybe they're going more of a Jean-Claude Van Damme where it's serious. I don't think he was too jokey in the original movie. It's been a while since I've watched it, so I could be wrong. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I think the casting for these characters is great. I don't know many of the actors, but I think everybody looks their part. Liu Kang and Kung Lao, 10 out of 10, look fantastic. We're going to see some cool powers from Liu Kang. We got the dragon we saw in the trailer, which is, I believe, one of his fatalities, if not his, oh crap, what are they called? It was in MK11, I don't know what it's called, but you do a lot of damage, and there's like the X-ray kind of stuff in it. But yeah, it's cool to see some references to other fatalities and movements from the past games. Kano does look a little odd to me. I think he would be the only character that I'm like really on how they look. And another character I'll talk about shortly, actually. He doesn't have his metal eye, which is fine. I don't know if maybe they're going to show that or add that to the story in this movie of like, oh, he's a normal dude, and then something happened, and now he had to get the metal eye thing with the beam. We see the beam in the trailer, but not the eye, so it's like, I don't know what we're doing here. Along with the same lines of Kano, it's a very quick moment, and I picked up on it, and so did Unruly, but there's a lizard he's fighting. Is it Reptile? If it is, oh god. It's pretty much a dinosaur he's fighting. I hope it's not Reptile. Or at least that's the presentation they're going with. Reptile should be a normal dude with reptilian features, not just a literal dinosaur that he's punching through the stomach. Anyways, whatever. Is what it is. You know what? Raiden does look a little weird. I don't know. Maybe it's the short hair Raiden. Okay, most of the characters I like. But Kano looks weird. Don't be Reptile. Raiden looks weird. The rest, I think, is top-notch. Kung Lao, I think, looks the best, which surprised me because I'm not that big of a Kung Lao fan. So, yes, very excited for this movie when it drops on HBO Max. Excited, once again, to see how the story plays out, what kind of seeds we do plant if we're going to be doing more of these movies. Obviously, I think it's more of a test the waters kind of thing. What's the reaction? How do people like the movie? How does it sell? I don't know if selling. How many subscriptions does it buy on HBO Max? Performs. How does it perform? How does this movie perform? How does it do? What do critics think? And then from there, can we go and build upon this? I'd love for them to build upon it. Obviously, similar to the Marvel movies, there's more characters to introduce and things to do. Even if they just take a similar approach with the games of the games of how they tell these stories, I'd be fine with that. Like, similar once again to the Marvel movies and the Marvel comics. You can base it off certain titles, but if you change things here and there, like they are doing with Jax already, then I'm all in. Make it good, make it interesting, make it compelling. I'll sit there and watch it. I'm ready to go. There's other characters, like we mentioned, that are hinted at in this movie, or quick glimpses if they have more Easter eggs or more characters to reveal in the actual film itself. All exciting. But if not, maybe they can plant the seeds to show them in a next one, or in a following movie, and go from there and build upon the story and the universe, or whatever you want to call it. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head of when it releases in April. But yeah, maybe I'll do a follow-up to this and kind of do a mini review or my thoughts on it, talk about it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk my thoughts about the trailer with you guys for a little bit, because as you guys know, now I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. I haven't played like the originals, but 9 through 11 I have played, and I'm very invested in the story and the characters because they're interesting. It's not just, I mean, obviously there's the gore and violence aspect to it that's like, oh shit, but there's actually interesting stories that they're telling, and especially from Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11, that's been a big focus of NetherRealm, whether it's the Mortal Kombat titles or it's the Injustice titles. Their story modes have just keep getting bigger and better, and it's more interesting. So yeah, compelled to see how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it can be good, and it's not just the end of the road brick wall. Ooh, that was bad. But we'll see. So nice and short and sweet with that one. Moving on to topic 3 for today. I want to talk some Apex Legends with you guys. We're in the midst of Season 8 right now, and I just want to talk about my love for this game. It just keeps getting better. I've played it on stream a bunch, here and there, and played it offline a whole lot too. And now at this point, it's been fun having more people try it out, whether it be Papa Griff, whether it be Electric Wizrobe, whether it be Pancake, whoever, like trying this game out and actually liking it. And it just makes me happy when, like, any game really you recommend, or a movie or whatever it is, and somebody was like, oh yeah, this was really good, like actually enjoying it. So it's been a blast having those conversations with those guys. And it sounds weird, but being an educator, or like being someone that can answer questions that they may have about either gameplay mechanics or characters or abilities or whatever, it's just nice to be able to share that, share this thing that I love and share it with other people. And like, they want to know more about it. Why not? Yeah, that's great. So along with this, with more people playing it that I know and getting excited about it, it's kind of, I'm thinking more and more about Apex. I joked about it on stream earlier today, but we've already played almost the same amount of games as last season within 4 weeks that we played in a 12-week season in Season 7. And in this game, like I said, I've loved it from the start. I've definitely been like in and out in certain seasons. I played a lot when the game dropped in Season 1. Season 2, I think I played one match. I kind of fell out. Same with Season 3. Got me back a little bit. But Season 4 was the big one. I don't know specifically what it was that kind of like snatched me up. It wasn't Revenant per se, the character. I think it might have been their how they implemented a battle pass and actual things to do and work towards in this game. That was something that Fortnite always had going for it, was those challenges and those objectives. Like, I'm not really good at BRs or battle royales, and like, I'm never going to win a solo mode or win a duos, but having this alternative of like, I can unlock cool costumes, I can unlock emotes, I can unlock sprays for my gun, the skins, like having those things to work for, even if you're not winning, you still feel like you're accomplishing things, and that little check mark per se of a weekly challenge, of a daily challenge, whatever it is. So I think that was maybe what it was missing early on, is it didn't have that battle pass initially. So maybe that was what it was in Season 4, of like realizing, oh shit, I have things that I can accomplish here and do, and if I have a good match, great. If I don't, at least I'm working towards these things, and it's fun. The gameplay loop is fun. The characters, they're all unique and they have fun abilities. The gameplay feels smooth and runs well, whether it's the shooting, whether it's the movement and the freedom of that, and how you're able to, slide or climb or do this, do that. Like, it just makes it all fun and adds to the experience. So yeah, since Season 4, I would say I've been definitely more hardcore and invested into it and putting a lot of hours behind it. It was always another thing too, of like I mentioned, the challenging or unlocking the things through the challenges of unlocking the next legend. I was never in a position where I had played enough to have the new legend right off the bat. It was always, I would get them right at the tail end and then finally be able to play with them and experience them. So it was that thing of working towards. And recently with Season 6, I started getting ahead of that curve. just with the leveling and how you get the currency. It got at a slower rate as you played the game more. But now I'm at a safe place where I can get the legend immediately off the bat, just using legend tokens and not buying them per se with real cash. But we're in a good place now where I'm able to do that. And, you feel a little bit more in the know or in the moment with playing the character right off the bat, rather than like, oh yeah, I hear all these things about this character, but I have no experience with it because I don't have them. So it's been fun, like playing around with Loba when she shows up, or playing with Rampart, or playing with Fuse now, who's fantastic. He's a good character that I really enjoy. So it's fun being part of that in real time, instead of at the end of the season where everybody's already experimented with it. It's like, this legend's shit. This legend's great, whatever it is. So yeah, I think that was a big thing that got me back into it. And now it's a new, not inspiration, but a new incentive to like play, and like a new energy put into me of like why I'm more interested in this game than ever before, is like other people playing it, friends that want to play. I had that in the beginning with season 1, and like Dio would play and Billy would play and Nolan would play, but it didn't hook with them fully, and they went on to play different stuff. Like Billy was more Warzone, Call of Duty, and Blackout, like, which is fine. It was a good game, but just wasn't this one. So having people actually play it now and enjoy it, it's like, oh shit, once again, new energy, new interest in it. So it's been a blast playing with those guys. And like I said, the results don't matter. Like if we win, we win. We've won, I think, once with the new team, which is fine. But like we do pretty consistently in placement. And then other than that, it's just fun, once again, explaining things and being that educator, or that, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's been interesting sharing that information and love of the game with others that are also finding interest in it. Through this newfound love of Apex, obviously I'm playing a lot more. We're crushing the weekly challenges, but I've also gone out to kind of look into learning more about Apex. Not necessarily like the super nitty-gritty details of the meta, or like, oh, this is good ranked and this is good competitive, but more interested in different content and people who focus on it. So I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple people I've checked out. First one's going to be CLG I'm Madness. CLG is the team, I'm Madness is the user that I'm shouting out. He's a big competitive player, plays a lot of Wraith, and he's a very entertaining personality. I learned about him through the Achievement Hunter community. Alfredo Diaz has had him on a couple different content, whether it's Among Us, I think is the main one. And he was just a very entertaining person and individual, so I started watching more of his content with Apex. And man, those guys go hard. They are very, very good at what they do with the competitive scene in ALGS. I think they won a few times. It's their big Apex competition. I think they won one recently. But it's been interesting watching the tournaments and watching the streams that he's participated in, and seeing like, oh shit, okay, the R99 is a really good gun. The Mastiff is a really good shotgun that actually has a lot more range than you would think. And learning like this game is very fast paced and not really how we play it, where it's sniper based and like take your time. You can play it that way, but if you're going to get in the competitive scene or the rank scene, like it seems like these close range encounters are the way to go, which not necessarily for me. I've thought about ranked here and there. I've played a little bit in previous seasons, but it's just interesting to know like, oh, okay, this is the competitive meta, I guess you could say, or the competitive gameplay style. And comparing it to how we play, where it's more slow paced, more snipers, which is fine and it works for us. Like we get our damage output there. But then also learning like Wraith's a really good competitive character. Gibraltar, who I never really particularly cared for competitively, is used quite a lot, and that bubble shield is very important. Learning that Mirage is apparently the worst character and does not have a lot of strengths with their character, with him, along with Rampart. They're very on the bottom, it seems. But yeah, shout out to him. He's putting out a lot of good content out there and a lot of good energy. So I've been watching him. And then also I kind of wanted to see if there was a podcast specifically about Apex just to listen to while I was at work. And sure enough, there is. I've started listening to a podcast called the Third Party Podcast. It's hosted by Shay and Henry, and they do a fantastic job of really breaking things down, either about a legend or about guns and damage output, if you really want to know the nitty gritty. But then they also just talk about a lot of their own gameplay and experiences, along with maps and how to get better with them, or certain legends, or news that's coming up and updates and leaks, or whether it's patch notes. Like, they really do a good job of compiling all this information that's put out there and making it a very nice bite-sized piece of info for everybody to kind of learn from, or hear about, which is nice. So I appreciate their content as well. So yeah, shout out to those guys. But it's been interesting diving more into the game that way and learning more about it. But yeah, the game overall is just very fun. I mentioned the gameplay loop. It's just very entertaining. There's been frustrating games for sure where it's a hot drop and like, this is the worst area we could be dropping right now. I'm going to die in 30 seconds just because there's so many people and somebody's going to grab a gun before me and whatever it is. But it's never been like, I'm mad at this game for this reason. It's never been a certain legend is too powerful. I've always felt that they do a very good job. Respawn does a very good job of balancing all their characters. I've never felt like, Lifeline's too strong, or Wraith's too strong, or this person has this ability that just breaks everything. I always see a wide variety of the character cast, roster rather. Always see a wide variety of them, and then I've never had like a particular issue in anybody. Like, it's like, there's this character. Okay, I got to be aware of X ability or Y ability or whatever it is. And, you change what you're doing. But it's never felt like it's unfair or unbalanced, if that makes sense. And I think that's a big reason of why I keep playing this game is when I lose, it's because, firefight just didn't go my way. Okay, hop back into it. Let's do it again. And it's never felt like a chore or like it's dragging on, if that makes sense. It's always like, all right, let's play it again. Let's just keep going. Let's run it back. And yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game that I can just pop in, whether it is playing with the guys or whether it's dropping in solo, and listen to another stream or whatever it is. It's just a fun waste of time to dive into and keep playing. And I'm looking forward to what's coming up in the future seasons. I'm looking forward more to the legends. Like I said, I've gotten more interested with the legends as I'm playing them at their release. Fuse has been a lot of fun. I haven't played a lot of Rampart from Season 7, but I'm learning more about like hopping around to different legends. Usually I would only play Bloodhound. That was my main, but playing more characters, like playing Watson, getting invested with her, playing Loba, getting invested in her playstyle, a little bit of Octane, a little bit of Revenant, a little bit of, whoever. It's been fun trying out these different characters and learning more about them. So yeah, I'm excited what they're going to do from next season and on, and how they're going to support this game. I'm glad they're still supporting this game after 2 years, which they celebrated recently. And also, it's been fun to see all of the changes. Recently, I went to YouTube and just kind of searched, like, if anybody had, like, a history kind of video of, like, changes that had happened from the game's launch. And shout out to GameSpot. They had 2 really good videos, one of Year 1's progression and one of Year 2's progression up to this point. And it was kind of like a little fun nostalgia trip. I mean, it could be interesting for anybody. I highly recommend you guys check it out, of just hearing like how the game has changed and evolved since the beginning. But as someone who's played most of the seasons, like being like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Shields used to just be normal, but now they got changed at like Season 5 to all Evo shields, so they upgrade as you do damage. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about Evo shields originally, but now I'm like, oh, this is normal and this is good because it makes your progression mean something. And then also learning like how the map has changed. Like, the Skull Town was a piece of shit and everybody landed there, but now it's been replaced by this, and all this meadow is broken. And like I mentioned, they didn't have the battle pass originally. So it's been a fun little nostalgia trip of like relearning or being like, remembering all these things that happened in the past, and just kind of reminiscing, I guess you could say, on it. And one last thing about Apex before I wrap up today, they have a lot of lore. They invest in their story. If you guys have played Titanfall at all, this is tied into the Titanfall universe, which Respawn Entertainment is known for. So it's interesting to learn more about that and how it ties into the universe, but also they really dive deep in their characters. Not necessarily in the game, you kind of get it season per season with the treasure packs and how they do the comics, or I think it was season 5 they did the in-game mode where it was PvE, player versus environment, which was great. You learn more about the characters there, but outside of the game as well, like there's a lot of things that you can learn from if you really want to get invested with the characters and the stories that are going on, whether it's the character reveal trailers, like Loba and Revenant's history is really cool to see if you watch those trailers. And then along with like Pathfinder they made a book about Pathfinder's quest and how his origins all came out. And then there's other things called Tales from the I think it's Tales. No, that may be Tales of the Borderlands. I'm mixing it up. What am I thinking of? The battle. I don't know. It explains like more lore with the characters. Like Watson, her dad is the one who designed the bubble that comes in the ring. Early on in the game, Crypto was like this big hacker reveal in the first 3 seasons of like messing with the playing field, and that's like why the dragon wyvern things are flying around now, because he hacked into the system and allowed wildlife back in. He's got some story with his sister being missing. Fuse has story about like why his arm's missing and the company he's dealing with in there. And so it's been really unique and interesting to see the different story elements that they're really diving into with this battle royale, because I mean, Fortnite's doing it now, but most battle royales is just drop, shoot, win, yay, hopefully, or die. It's cool to see the investment in the story of these characters and the lore, even if there isn't that story mode. But I think it makes it a little bit more intriguing and interesting, especially when a new season comes along. You're trying to be like, okay, so how does this connect to this person? Oh, they have history with this person. How's that going to interact with their abilities or interact with their lore? And am I going to get more invested in this character because of it? So, yeah, just wanted to gush about Apex Legends a little bit. It's always fun to talk Apex Legends. It's always fun to play Apex Legends, and I'm always looking forward to playing more Apex Legends. I'll probably be playing tonight as this video renders and stuff. It's just been a blast. Papa Griff says, glad to be a part of the squad while I slow burn to grow my techniques and abilities. Hopefully one day I'll be able to contribute more. Have to say the Discord is a huge benefit of the play, both that I can hear you in real time, I can offer as I see fit to possibly help you or others in the squad. It's way more enjoyable to play shooter with a partner or partners. Gives me a puncher's chance every game that I wouldn't ordinarily have. For sure, absolutely. And that's another aspect of this game that is fantastic. Not necessarily a Discord aspect, but the pinging system that this game has introduced to battle royales that didn't exist before. Fortnite didn't have it. Nobody had it. Being able to communicate with somebody who's not on comms. Like when I drop solo and go into, matchmaking, I'm not doing comms. It's the internet. Everybody's gonna have like, oh, you're the shittiest player ever. Why'd you do this? Blah blah blah. It's not always gonna be that. I've run into some very positive people in this game when I forget to mute mics. Like sometimes like, oh, that was a great game. Good shot there. Blah blah. Like sometimes you don't want to talk to people, but the pinging system makes everything great. Let's go here. There's an enemy over there. Somebody was here because this thing's open. Like I'm defending here. I'm attacking here. That ping system is fantastic. But yes, when you get that communication with either randos or people you're playing with, your squad mates, it's so much fun. And I think I've talked about this with Overwatch before. Like when you play Overwatch with people, man, that game is fun. When you play Among Us with people man, that game is fun. It's the same thing, everything. If you play games with people it just adds to the experience. It makes it that much better. And yeah, that communication aspect, as long as, cooler heads prevail, don't be getting down everybody's throats like I don't think we will ever do. But like it's a fun. It's a more engaging experience. Not that you're trying to be like MLG Pro and like go for the win all the time, but it makes it more engaging, makes it more fun, makes you more invested. It's a blast. And like the characters in this game, they're all unique. They have different play styles in a way and different abilities. So it's fun to kind of learn what works, what doesn't work, and how those compositions kind of work together. Like, oh, you have this ability. Okay, let's do this thing. Let's hook around this way, or let's post up, or let's go forward, let's attack. Let's use that all there, kind of block them. Like, it's fun playing with other players. And yeah, it boosts everybody. Because yeah, if, at least us, we're smart, or we try and plan out our drops where we're not going to get immediately killed like some random matchmaking does. And you can actually play the game. Like, no, I don't want to sit here and watch the game load more than I played just because we dropped at the hottest spot the possible. Like, no, let's play the game because we want to play the game. Once again, I don't have to win every match, but let's try. So sometimes with randos that does not work. But yeah, it's been a blast playing with you guys as well. Papa Griffin, Wizrobe, and Pancake. Hopefully we'll get a session in it sometime, in Acario as well. I know he's a little bit more competitive with it, and I hope he's doing well in the competitive scene. But it's been a blast playing with everybody. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to more. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun playing that game, and can't wait to do more. All right, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and chatting with me today. If you guys want to catch the podcast live, remember you can always go to twitch.tv/Enigma9011, where we host it live at 8 p.m. Eastern every other Saturday. You can join the chat. If you're a sub, you can join in and talk with us. We'd love to have you guys talking all these topics with us. We appreciate your support and your input. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and SoundCloud, where it's put out topic by topic, and has been one big video and MP3 the following Friday. And remember, guys, last thing, #ad merch store. Get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. You can rep the brand. Support us. It would be greatly appreciated. Chat, viewers, listeners, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let me gush about these topics and chat with you guys about them. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you guys